Hello, and welcome to this e-training session. We will be following a recipe for success on setting a banquet table for 8 guests for a 4-course meal. By the end of this presentation, you will be able to identify what glassware, flatware, and other items you need to set a banquet table, as well as how to properly set each place setting based on the hotel standards. First, let's start off with our ingredients, or what we need in order to set the table. Since we will be getting ready for a 4-course banquet meal, we will need a lot of ingredients. This list includes a 60-inch round banquet table, tablecloth, chargers, soup spoons, salad forks and knives, dinner forks and knives, dessert forks and spoons, bread and butter plates, butter knives, water and wine glasses, coffee cups and saucers, napkins, sugar caddies, creamers, salt and pepper shakers, a bread basket, butter plates, lemon slices, and banquet chairs. Now, let's start setting our banquet table. Because we will be setting the tables for 8 guests each, we will use 60-inch round tables. These tables should already be set up for you by the houseman in the configuration requested by the planner on the banquet event order and room diagram. The first step is to place the linen on the table. Before laying the linen down, you need to make sure it is clean and pressed. Inspect it to make sure it is free of rips, discoloration, and burns. When placing the linen on the table, make sure that it is hanging evenly on all sides. The next step is to set the chargers on the table where each place setting will go. The first charger should be placed facing the front of the room. Staging or head tables usually mark the front of the room. If you are unsure where the front of the room is, consult your banquet captain first. From there, place the charger directly across the table from the first one. Then continue setting the rest of the chargers evenly between them. Now we are ready to begin placing the flatware on the table. As you are setting the silverware down on the table, check to make sure no water spots are visible. All flatware should be clean and polished before being placed on the table. We will set the silverware from left to right. The salad fork and the dinner fork are placed to the left of each charger. To help you remember that forks go on the left, note that the word fork has 4 letters and the word left has 4 letters. The dinner fork will be the larger of the 2 forks and should be placed closest to the charger. The salad fork will be slightly smaller and be placed to the left of the dinner fork. Next, we will move over to the right side of the charger. Here we place our knives and spoons. Another way to help you remember that knives and spoons go to the right of the charger is that both of the words knife and spoon have 5 letters, just like the word right has 5 letters. You first place the dinner knife closest to the charger with the salad knife just to the right of the dinner knife. The blades of both knives should be facing in towards the charger. Next, place the soup spoon to the right of the salad knife. The last pieces of silverware to be placed are the dessert fork and dessert spoon. The dessert fork will be set first just above the charger, running perpendicular to the setting. The handle should be facing the left of the charger. Next, the dessert spoon is placed just above the dessert fork with the handle facing to the right side of the charger. Like the dessert fork, the dessert spoon should run perpendicular to the charger. As a rule of thumb, all of the silverware should be placed in order of the courses going from outside to inside, so that the first course's silverware is placed on the outside of the place setting and the entree silverware is closest to the charger. Silverware should be placed 1 thumbnail length from the edge of the table, be evenly spaced, and run parallel to the charger. Pick up all flatware by the handle. Now we are ready to place the bread and butter plate as well as the butter knife. The bread and butter plate should be set at the top of the salad fork and dinner fork on the left side of the place setting. The butter knife is placed on top of the bread and butter plate, running in a diagonal line pointing up from right to left. Next, we move on to glassware. Just like the silverware, glassware should be checked for water spots and lipstick stains before being placed on the table. Handle all glassware by the stem and ensure it is properly polished. The water glass should be placed at the top of the dinner knife and the salad knife. The wine glass is then placed above the water glass and slightly to the left of it. Coffee cups and saucers will be placed to the right of the soup spoon. To help you remember the layout of the place setting, just think of BMW. From left to right, you will have the bread plate, the meal plate, and the water glass. Next, place the napkin at the place setting based on the planner specification on the banquet event order. If the location of the napkin is not specified, it should be placed centered on the charger. Different napkin folds may be required based on the planner's specifications. Please use the additional resources provided in this learning module to become familiar with the different folds and how to create them. Check the napkins for rips and discoloration before placing them on the table. To finish up the table, sugar caddies, creamers, salt and pepper shakers, bread baskets, butter, lemon slices, and salad dressings should be evenly placed around the center of the table. Make sure that all handles are facing towards the outside of the table to make it easier for guests to reach them. Also check that the salt and pepper shakers are full before setting them down. The final step is to evenly place the banquet chairs around the table in front of each place setting. The front of the chair should sit flush with the tablecloth so that it is not pushed in too far or set too far away from the edge of the table. Congratulations! You have now successfully set a banquet table for 8 guests for a 4-course meal. Let's quickly review the steps, tips, and tricks that you have learned. We first begin by placing the linen on the table so that it lays evenly on all sides. Next, we place the chargers evenly around the table, with the first one placed facing towards the front of the room. Our third step is to place the flatware at each place setting. Next, we set the bread and butter plates and the butter knives above the forks. The fifth step is where we put down water glasses, wine glasses, and coffee cups and saucers. Next, we place our folded napkin in the center of the charger, unless otherwise noted by the banquet event order. We then place our final additions in the center of the table, including sugar caddies, creamers, salt and pepper shakers, bread baskets, butter, lemon slices, and salad dressings. Our final step is to evenly place the banquet chairs at each place setting so that the end of the chair is just barely touching the tablecloth. Remember, fork has 4 letters, just like left has 4 letters, so fork should be placed on the left side of the charger. Knife and spoon both have 5 letters, as does right. This means that knives and spoons are placed to the right of the charger. To help you remember the layout of the place setting, just think of BMW. The bread plate goes on the left, the meal plate in the middle, and the water glass on the right. Remember, if you have any questions, you can always ask for assistance from the banquet captain or refer back to the banquet event order. You now have a recipe for success to set a banquet table. Please continue through the learning module to complete your quiz and access additional resources.